Can I go to the party?
Of course not. We are the help. The Horowitzes are our employers. We don't attend their parties.
I don't go to any parties.
You're wearing my patient's sin. Go and clean yourself up. Wash your face and change your clothes. Then come back to the kitchen and I'll give you something to eat. As Louisa walked out of the room, she heard her mother scoff. I have to wash this damn floor again. After Louisa was cleaned up and changed, she wasn't hungry, so instead of going to the kitchen, she went into her room and thought about her life. Everything had changed when her father died. Last year, she and her mother had moved into this Jewish neighborhood. The Horowitzes were rich in comparison to anyone from Louisa's old neighborhood. They owned a home, even if it was one of the smaller homes in the small, wealthy area where they lived. And that home had a study and a ballroom. They owned nice things, like china, silverware, pretty furnishings, and lovely orchid-colored drapes. Frau Horowitz had always been kind to Louisa, but Louisa felt uncomfortable around her. She always felt like Frau Horowitz pitied her.
Why wouldn't she pity me? I am pitiful. My father is dead. My mother is a maid. We have no money.
Louisa and her mother were given a clean and modest room in the maids' quarters of the Horowitzes' home. It was nothing fancy, but it was warm in the winter and they had plenty of food. These were the things they'd lacked before they moved in with the Horowitzes, and Louisa knew she should be grateful for all that the Horowitzes gave them. But she had been much happier in her own neighborhood, even if the winters were miserable, and she and her mother often went to bed hungry. Most of the time when Louisa wasn't in school, she was helping her mother cook or clean. Sometimes she was ensconced in her room doing her homework, but she found it hard to concentrate on her studies. Her mind was always drifting, and because of this, her grades suffered. Louisa was lonely. She often thought of her friends who she'd left behind. Unfortunately, her mother was too exhausted to take the time to talk to her. Even so, Louisa knew her mother loved her. She could feel it, even when her mother was angry with her. It hurt to see how hard her mother worked, and although she never told anyone, she was angry at how unfair life was.
How is it that some people like the Horowitzes have everything, and others like my Mutti and me have nothing?
The girls who attended school with Louisa sat together in groups, none of which included Louisa. Some of the girls were very studious, others very wealthy, but the ones Louisa admired the most were the beauties. They were a small group of girls who everyone seemed to marvel at. All of them were pretty and charming, but one in particular was above the rest. Her name was Goldie Birnbaum. Not only was she beautiful, but her family was rich, perhaps the richest family in the entire school. The Birnbaums owned a large women's clothing factory right in town. Louisa's mother knew women who worked for Goldie's family, but none of them had ever met the Birnbaums, not even Louisa. She'd only watched Goldie from afar and gaped at her beauty. Goldie had hair that was the color of sunshine and always perfectly styled. Her clothes were tailored to her tall, lanky figure, and no matter what the latest fashion was, she wore it, and she wore it well. When Louisa was alone in her room, she closed her eyes and imagined what it might be like to be Goldie. She thought about how it would feel to go to school wearing the prettiest dresses.
What would it feel like to be greeted by all the other girls, each of them hoping that I would choose to sit beside them? And the boys, I wonder what it would be like to have the boys sit up straighter when I walked into the room and speak respectfully when they talked to me. Instead of teasing me and calling me ugly, they would vie for my attentions.
She giggled when she thought about it, but a glimpse of her image in the mirror was a bitter reminder that she was not Goldie Birnbaum. She was Louisa Eisenreich, a skinny, frightened girl with no figure and a face that she had been told looked like the face of a rat. Her nose was long and pointed.